What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, the official Cliffy J, and I'm back with another video. And today, I'm gonna be giving you guys another Big Brother ranking. Gonna be doing my top 10 players of the first 10 seasons in Big Brother. And the reason I'm doing this ranking is because I saw season 3 again, and rewatching season 3 just made me think, man, where would I rank Danielle in comparison to Diane and June and these other players that were really good and Will and stuff like that, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and do this ranking. Shout out to the Morani review because I seen he also has done a similar type of video. But what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna go off of like the era and how like the the era was a little bit different and stuff. No, I'm gonna go based off the same exact criteria, and let's see what I end up getting. Right? I got four honorable mentions, which is Allison, Erica, Memphis, and Lisa, and none of them were particularly close to actually making the list. But I think they're all really good players in their own right, and I would say I was also a little bit surprised by how good the players in this era was because when I watch like other shows like The Challenge, Survivor, you look at like sports like basketball, football, MMA, the players back in the day were not as skilled and like as well rounded as the players in this era and like and stuff like that. Like every era the players get better. I don't really think the same thing is there with Big Brother. I don't think the players are necessarily so much better, leaps and bounds better nowadays. They could be more strategic, but I don't even know if that's really the case because some of these strategists in this era were crazy, dude. So let me this right there. All right, let's go ahead and get into the ranking though. And at number 10, I've got the winner of season 9, Adam. And the only reason I have him above like Lisa or Allison is the fact that I think he actually like showed some like real dominance. He was actually controlling it, and I think he was better socially than Allison and better strategically and physically than Lisa. So I think he's better physically than both of them, obviously. But yeah, I think he was better socially than Allison and better strategically than Lisa. So I lean more towards him. And I think he actually showed like some real dominance in the late game stretch, with a lot of also his like control over Ryan and stuff. And yeah, I think he was more liked by his cast, even like at a peak than both of them. Like early game, he was not as disliked as Allison, but he wasn't as liked as Lisa. But eventually he was able to lock that in and really have that, and, they didn't ever have that. They didn't have the, like I don't wanna say the cast adored him, but they really did like him at a certain point, so he has that over them both. And at number 9, I got Mike Boogie, man. I got Mike Boogie, the winner of season 7 and one of the first boots of season 2. I only have Mike Boogie this low for 2 reasons. He played both seasons with Dr. Will, who was a really good ally for him and a better player, like for him to work with and bounce off of. And his first season was really bad. And I'd argue he still was a bit of that over player on season 7, but he's definitely a well-rounded player. And I would say probably one of the most well-rounded players of all time, like, and maybe not of all time, but definitely of this time. Super well-rounded, pretty good in every category. And at number 8, I got Nicole, the runner-up of season 2, and, Nicole is the first in this line of some of the strongest female forces still to this day to ever play Big Brother. Besides the bad start to week 1, she was able to solidly position herself in the house while some of the house went for Chilltown, and, after Chilltown was gone, her and Hardy were able to get into a pretty good position from mid to late game, which gave them a lot of control. And when I say pretty good, I mean they were dominating the game. Also, were two of the strongest competitors, if not the two strongest competitors. And she showed that she was a solid overall player. I do think a part of the reason she lost is obviously because Will showed some skill in that season, of course. and the fact that, they were able to watch the show, and Will came off so much more likable, and, Will probably also had better jury management too, so yeah, nah, I would definitely lean towards her being one of the better players of this era. Just can't put her too high because it's obviously season 2, there was no game really set, so her game wasn't as complex as a lot of the players that I have above her, and, she didn't have that jury management to be able to get the win over someone like Will that didn't have nearly, like, half the amount of control she had in the season, let's be honest. And at number 7, I got June, the winner of season 4. And I know a lot of people would expect for me to have her 3, 2, maybe at 1. I don't know. Like, people do rate her a lot higher than I do, which I feel like I rate her relatively high. I don't think she's a bad player by any. I think she literally is a great player and a legendary player. Um, Jean's game on Jean, oh, and it's so bad. June's game on paper is not really anything special by today's standards, but she contributed to the evolving game that was happening in the early seasons. And she's one of the best strategists to ever play the game. That's just a fact. Most of the stuff she did was based on strategy. She was like a super game bot. And I say super game bot because she was very good strategically. I have issues with her, mostly based on the fact that she wasn't great socially and she wasn't like a physical competitor either. So it's like you're really just relying all on strategy, which that'll of course work, but I don't know if that works on any given season. And that does really matter to me when I'm ranking players. A lot of the cast just didn't really like her, and they really weren't gonna vote for her to win, depending on who she was against. Against most of the people, she wasn't gonna get the votes. And I do give her the credit for being able to realize that Allison is someone that she can go to the end with, and B, so when Allison comes to her to work with her, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely do this. I'm not gonna shoot Allison down, even though she doesn't really like Allison herself. It's just, we really haven't been able to see her on another season. We'll definitely have been able to see her on another season. And the cast is definitely bottom 3 of the first 10 seasons in terms of ability, and, they're above number 1 only because June. Like, literally, if she wasn't on the cast, this would be the worst cast maybe ever. Like, this is a terrible cast strategically. And at number 6, I got Maggie. And, Maggie was, like, the 2nd female on the show to really dominate a season the way that she did, in my opinion, obviously. Uh and obviously that partly came from the fact that an alliance was built. She was a part of that alliance. She was essentially like second in charge. Top in charge goes home. She takes over, runs with an iron fist, and she makes sure that she's the best position and people really rock with her and people really want to work with her and people really want to vote for her. And I mean, she did it in a way where I just think that it's a more reliable way to play the game. And it was wildly impressive, just like June's strategy. So, especially with the fact that it was a lot of hands-on, like, she actually talked to these people to get them to really rock with her the way that they did and really, like, be die hard. Like, the alliance, the friendship alliance was strong, obviously, for a reason, and, she's one of those main reasons. She could arguably be the main reason. So, yeah, I got Maggie right here at number 6, a very, very good player. And at number 5, I got Eric from season 8. And I have Eric, uh I think we kind of already know, like, he was America's player, and that wasn't a good thing. It wasn't a good thing. He had to just give Dick the game. And the fact that he was able to do that, that's what's also so impressive about his game. He had to carry Dick, who was a terrible player, literally one of the worst players I've ever seen, and literally the worst player to ever win. I only have to think about it. He's the worst player to ever win Big Brother, in my opinion. For him to win the game because of Eric's great gameplay, because that's really what it was. He's a great player that I really wish we would have been able to see him actually just play the game, because I have no doubt he would have won the season. Like, he was that good. And he had to just give the game to Dick. And that obviously screwed him over. And I think nothing else really needs to be said. And that's really what it is. Like, he would be even higher on the list if he was able to play. He probably would even be in GOAT conversations, bro. I don't even know. I don't know. It's a what if. Just what he was able to do was very impressive. To carry Dick through the game, to be in alliance controlling the game for the most part, to be like in a showman's, to be I mean, bro was cooking. Bro was cooking. We gotta give him that bro was cooking. So yeah, nah, I gotta have him right here at number 5. Right? I got him at number 5. Oh no, actually at number 6. I got him at number 6. Boom. All right, let's get on to number 5. Someone that don't gonna have a what if about. Like I know this guy was really like that. I got Jason Guy. I should have said I know Jason is really like that. I don't know why I just said Guy twice, right? But nah, we got Jason at number 5. We know he is one of the best players of his era because him alongside one of the goats. Nah, I ain't even gonna say she one of the goats, but I love Danielle, right? Him alongside Danielle, they were able to dominate that season, having the secret alliance, and he was better than Danielle on that season. Like, let's be honest, let's be real. He had better positioning. People liked him more. Yeah, she was one that was more running week to week the strategy, but he had his little influence in it too. He was also very cutthroat. He was also very good overall in the game. And him being so much better socially and likable to where he would have probably beaten both Lisa and Danielle in the final two. I think that I got to definitely give him the leg up on that season over one of the greatest players, and like that's why he's so high on this list. Obviously, yeah. No, I really do like Jason and Danielle. Maybe I'm a little biased. And at number 4, I got Drew Daniel, and I got Drew the winner of season 5. I got Daniel right here because I feel like he what am I saying? Like it's obvious. Like he was a dominant player on his season. He was also a comp beast. Like bro was a comp beast, set the HOH record that's still to this day cuz I don't think anyone's won 5 HOHs, right? I think everyone that's like has the records at like 4. I might be wrong. Could be 5 now cuz like Michael or Jack, they're both freaking crazy at competitions. But I like they were more veto guys. So yeah, no. I think Drew, set the standard in terms of HOHs, a comp beast was in the showmance that was running the game. He was aligned with a lot of other players in the game with them having the four horsemen. Was that the alliance name? It's probably not the four horsemen. But I know he had the alliance with the other three guys. And he was the more controlling player in that group. Somehow almost lost to Cowboy. That am I see that's the thing. I gotta rewatch 5 too. 5 is one of the seasons I have to rewatch. I don't remember names that well, but I remember exactly what happened, like almost week by week, I would say. But Michael. But did they call him Michael or Cowboy? I don't even remember, guys. But yeah. Now I know Drew was running. I know Drew was running it, bro. I know Drew and Diane were running it. Like I remember them obviously. Drew and Diane were running it. And I really do think that the fact that Drew and Diane were running the game and he also had that alliance there, and then obviously a part of his game is luck dependent with the fact that she spilled the beans after she had got lit, and really spilling the beans was just saying how good her game was in comparison to his. And he was able to detect that. And that's a positive to his game, in my opinion, because he detected it and, was cutthroat enough to know, all right, I gotta slime Shorty out. I can't I can't do it. I gotta slime Shorty out. Like I rock with her, but I gotta slime her out. He was able to do what he had to do, got to the end, almost lost the jury vote. I'm pretty sure it was a 4-3 vote, right? But yeah, nah, we got my boy Drew this high. He's a very good player. We know that. And at number 3, I got Dan Giesland, the winner of season 10. I wanted to put him, thing is about Dan is that the people that compare his first season to Will's first season didn't actually watch either of their first seasons. The people that do that, I don't think Will actually watched his first season. I don't think Will knows what he did on that. I don't think he knows because it's not even a comparison, bro. It's not. It's actually a joke. Dan didn't dominate his first season, but he had a lot of control, and he had control of his perception, which is such a strong skill. And you guys know I love that. and I really wanted to just spam it and put him at. But honestly, the two players I got above him, I gotta give them some more credit because they got more than one season, and their second seasons just validate their ability as players. Where if I was ranking them, just based off of these first seasons, I would have to still put Dan here because he only has one season. He hasn't been able to validate it like they were. It's just like, nah, they really are like that. Like in my opinion, I was able to see that, because I fully understand overall all the dynamics. And yeah. But Dan's first season is so impressive. It's so impressive. Like, and it's so well rounded. Like his strategy in the game was insane. And the way that he controlled his perception post week one, obviously, and even like at the end of week one, he started. You know what I'm saying? And Dan's also someone that is big on explaining his strategy in a way where you can actually understand what he was actually trying to do and what he actually got accomplished. And I mean, even the control of Memphis late game is a better version of what Adam did with Ryan. So it's like Dan, and honestly, it's even better than what Maggie was doing with the friendship. If you really look at it all, the way he controlled the way that people thought about certain things without fully like going out and doing it, because no one truly perceived him the way that he needed to be perceived until late game. And by that point, you rock with him too much. He's important to your game. You need him, or you just dislike someone else more, or view somebody else as a bigger threat. People were viewing Memphis as a bigger threat for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, nah, I definitely got to give Dan that credit right there. Like I'm thinking about just putting him up higher, just thinking about it. And at number 2, I got Danielle Reyes. And Danielle Reyes is someone that never had to. I mean, like the difference between Dan, because I was gonna say something that actually fits for Dan. The difference between Dan and my top two is they had a different game in the capacity of people were able to watch your game, and that was what their votes were based off. It wasn't based off of what you could tell them and how you could swing them and things like that. Like they were able to actually watch it and see what they did. And that leaves a lot more bitterness in my opinion. I really do. And with someone like Danielle Reyes, she obviously should have won season 2. I know we can make these arguments that getting rid of Marcellus or getting rid of Amy is like I understand, but even in our heart of hearts, we know she should have beat Lisa. And that's not saying that Lisa wasn't a great player. I do think Lisa is a really good player, but that's just the truth. Um, and then she comes into season 7 as one of the biggest threats and still makes a relatively deep run. And at points is actually viewed as a valuable asset to big players. And the only reason I have her at number 2 is because of the player I have number 1 outplaying her. You know what I'm saying? And number 1 proving that they are what they really showed that they were in their first season. I think Danielle did also prove that because with her threat level coming into the game, with the level of players that she was playing up against, with Chilltown being there, I think it was just really hard for her to actually come out with a W. And of course, it's things she could have done better. We already know that. But at the same time, she was honestly like still showing that high level player, like at that level that where if it wasn't the Chill Town, we don't know what could have happened with her ability in the game, as good as she is. I mean, that duo is crazy to go against. It's like it's crazy. You got two of the greatest players in the same group, two legends. Like, come on, bro. And at number 1, I got Dr. Will. And I got Dr. Will at 1 because I lean Dr. Will socially. At this point, for sure, over the other two. Like, and that's just me being honest. It's just I think Dr. Will is so charismatic. Dr. Will is so like he's like someone that would irritate people and he has irritated people, but he's like someone that he still gets people to like him. And he has thing is with like Dan and Will is that they have an understanding of the game, in my opinion, that only like the greatest players, the top level players really have. And I believe that Dr. Will had for sure proven that at this time with his All Stars performance. And Yeah, we can say, okay, he should have maybe did this or whatever, like, but he wasn't hard out for the win. Like if he was hard out for the win, Dr. Will would have won the season. That would have been 2 wins. He would have been a two-time winner if he just really tried his hardest. And I think that really does matter if he put everything out there and just did exactly what he needed to do. We already know. That's very impressive, and especially by the means of which he would have won this second season, which is where like we can down his first season, but in some capacity he had perception control. Yeah, he was actually bad at competitions, but he did suppress his threat level of his overall social and strategic ability and his likability that was going to happen from the people watching the show. He did suppress that in some capacity, and that did lower his threat level. Now, if he was good at competitions, I don't think it will be a conversation on who the GOAT of the game. I think everyone would just undisputably say that he's the GOAT because he'd be the pioneer. Like he's the pioneer, and he is still, relative to everybody else in the game, a great strategist and a very good social player. So, when we're just going off these first 9 seasons, I think you got to go Dr. Will, man. I think Dr. Will is the best player of the first 9 seasons, first 10 seasons, if you want to say 10. And I just wish he was more well rounded. I wish him and Danielle were more well rounded. Honestly, I really do. Because if they were, whoo, they'd be in some crazy conversations, yo. And that is the end of today's video, guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Push the notification bell so you can be notified every time I drop a new lit banger. Peace.